Zach, I'm backstage with K.Flay at X Fest 2017. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm always happy to see you.
I
It's
know.
always such a pleasure.
I see you all over the West Coast.
I know. We met at Bumbershoot a couple years ago. I opened up for you with a DJ set, and then met in the catering.
Yes.
And you were the most pleasant artist I met that day. You were just nice, and you were having fun. Clearly, you were having fun.
I actually had a really good time because we have some friends in Seattle, and so we stayed like an extra day after the festival and just kicked it and like watched other artists and
Oh,
we were loving
wonderful.
life.
So you had some, see, that was back in a time where you still had a little bit of downtime.
Yes,
Potentially, right? You could sort of pick and choose your workload and where you're going. I ran into you in Seattle a while ago, and you were still, pleasant and happy. And then recently on the pier, so you're enjoying what you're doing, because it's been fun to watch you since then, since we met, hear your music and watch the direction you're going as an artist and performer, and with you're doing it.
Yeah. No, I think, this is the kind of job that if you don't like it, you should not do it, because there are elements of it I think that can sort of like test the human body and spirit in various different ways, but we're all doing good. The whole team's doing great, and it's kind of like, my record came out just about 2 months ago, so we're still like at the very beginning of this album cycle and the journey that will ensue.
Right, everywhere, somewhere.
Yes.
It's funny because now I'm imagining, because I grew up in a small town outside of Seattle, and when you grow up in these small towns or in the middle of nowhere, right? That cliche, which you've ruined now, because since everywhere's somewhere, you can't say you're in the middle of nowhere, because you're in the middle of somewhere.
Exactly.
I felt like I connected with that title because because you always think that, like, oh, I've got to go someplace bigger and better or elsewhere because nothing's going to happen here because it's the middle of nowhere. But it made me remember that everywhere is somewhere. Everywhere does have a certain quality to it that you don't find anywhere else. It has some sort of magic to it. And I don't know if that's where you were going with that, but that's kind of, what I took from it.
I think that's a huge part of it. I mean, the album title sort of came to me, I don't know, maybe like 9 months ago, just in the midst of touring. I think, you get this sense when you're in all of these different places all of the time that like there are such profound and sort of overwhelming similarities across all people and places. Like everywhere is just somewhere, right? Like every bar is just some bar. But then on the flip side of that, you make these memories and you watch other people making incredible memories and like these pivotal moments happening in people's lives, and even like you're saying a quote unquote nowhere town could for you or for a variety of other people be like the most meaningful, consequential place. So I think it's kind of like accepting the arbitrariness of life, but honoring the like singularity of everybody's existence out here. And that's kind of a broad statement, but that was like the spirit of the title and the record.
It's that's funny because it could have just as easily been called Somewhere is Everywhere. And then you could get some existential banter out of that as well.
That's true.
When it first came out, I couldn't remember which was which. I was like, oh, that's like pretty profound. Equally profound either way, but you could,
that's
that might
more
be
like
an EP.
astrophysics, yeah.
Exactly. Less. So you double majored in psychology and sociology, right?
Yes.
So I'm thinking about your tour and these experiences you're having with this analysis of people and places that you just talked about, and you could, if you wanted, write your master's thesis in either of those fields based on your touring experience easily.
Probably, actually.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. And I was wondering, is your sort of perspective on just people and places had to be influenced somewhat by your studies, your academic studies, because you see and experience things differently when you get that deep into social sciences.
For sure. I think in a broad sense, it's about just an orientation towards curiosity. I think that's a huge part of education for me in general, across like even when I was a little kid. I think what I was drawn to is that spirit of like humility. Like I don't know everything, and there are a lot of things I can learn about, and how do I go about learning in a productive way. And so for me, when we travel, it's kind of about just remaining open and curious. Like, I have my set of experiences and perspective, but that's limited and ever changing. And I try to
Absolutely.
I try to
Always.
just keep that in mind. And I feel like the more that all of us as human beings can remain curious, the better. Because like this is a crazy world. It's incredibly interesting, and I have no idea what's going to happen to it in the next 50 years. So
Yeah, I don't think anybody does, but you're gonna enjoy it in the meantime.
I'm
You're
gonna
doing it
gonna
right.
surf the iceberg once it calves off of Antarctica.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it'll definitely kick up a wake.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here with K.Flay at X-Fest 2017. Enjoy yourself. I mean, I don't have to tell you that because I knew you will
I will
anyway.
enjoy myself. We're actually really stoked. We're staying all night. We're gonna stay for Phoenix, and
Yeah.
we fly to Atlanta tomorrow, so we're just chilling. I live in LA, so I'm gonna drive back.
You're close. How often do you get to see Phoenix? Not often.
Not often. So tonight though, San Diego, we're not in a park. We're in a field. Where are we?
We're on the green at Qualcomm Stadium.
We're on the green at Qualcomm Stadium.
That's where we are.
What ordinarily takes place here?
That's a good question because it used to be Chargers practice field, but they're not here now. You guys, they're with you. They're your home team.
Oh my God, yeah, that's so right.
They're
I
your
totally
home
forgot
team.
about
You're
that.
kind of like poaching on sacred ground
I really had
here.
nothing to do with this, so please do not implicate me.
I don't take you as a massive, NFL fan, really,
I'm
or
not a
pro
massive
sports
NFL
kind of,
Actually, I am a sports fan. I was
Yeah?
raised. I have a brother we're the same age, and so there are a lot of elements of my upbringing that were very geared towards like sports. I come from a University of Michigan family, so like
Okay,
go
yeah, they take that
Wolverines.
seriously.
Yeah, maize and blue, whatever. Life's good.
Well, you're going to be putting this practice field to good use, so we're glad you're here.
Oh yeah, super glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
See the Lemon Twigs tonight too, since
I
you're here all
will. I
night.
will. We're here. We're just like literally out here.
Okay, cool. And ride the mechanical shark, because I feel like you need a good ride on the mechanical shark after listening to Blood in the Cut. Like you should really like get some of that angst out over on the
Okay.
mechanical shark.
Okay.
We'll take off all the safety features.
All right.
And you can
Yeah,
just-
exactly. I'll just go ham on the shark.
All right, cool. It's 91X.